What's up, everybody? Welcome in to yet another edition of the NCAA Hoops Hour. And I am the big man on campus. Hope you're having a great day here. It is Wednesday, March 6th. We got a big card to talk about. We'll get to all that and more in just a little bit. I hope you're having a great Wednesday afternoon. Still very cold out there. Early March, typical March weather, but temps in the 20s. It's pretty hard to believe, but they look to be rebounding next week, and spring will be here before we know it. Eventually, we'll be in summer, and college will be a distant memory, but we'll live it up as the card gets more and more interesting. You get teams jockeying for position, teams looking to close things out. You got some seniors being honored, all sorts of stuff to go over. We'll hit that and more here on the show. Please, as always, make sure you say hello in the chat and like the show. And also, guys, look, I'm going to ask this every day. Go on Twitter and retweet the link to the show. We got an absolutely terrific response yesterday. All of you were so kind in doing that, and I really urge all of you to do that right now. Do it every day. As I said before, if you're not growing, you're dying. And this show continues to grow every day. I've been doing this a long time. We continue to get new people. I am the go-to show at 5 o'clock. It's just that simple. I only have about 3,300 subscribers, and we regularly get tons of people in here. So please retweet the show. Tell your friends. Tell anyone you think might enjoy it to watch it. Already plenty of retweeters here. We got that's how we're going to shout people out now. Brolando, what's up? Bernie, always a good retweeter. JC, my man JC out there in California, great guy. Going through a little bit of a losing streak on his own, but I'll tell you what, great guy, good dude, and is really been a kind guy. Nice retweet there. Mike Book, always retweeting the show. Sacktown King, the mayor of Sacramento, Franco in here. Preston, Blake, Sutter, the real Matty Ice. Thank you. We got the MCA in here. We got Steve Murin, always a retweeter. Ryan Hebert. My man Brian Manning. All of you, thanks for watching. Let's get into it here. What's up, BMC? Adam, Sandy, how you doing? Jason B, David, Ski Steez, thanks for following me, man. Melvin, Paul Bertone, Dayton. What's my email? You seem to ask me that every day. My email is bmocsports@gmail.com. bmocsports@gmail.com. Let's also tell you about our sponsor, and that is mybookie.ag. If you're in the market for a new book or just looking to finally get into the fray, MyBookie is the place for you. It's time to bet on college hoops, folks, and one of the best places to do that is at MyBookie. They have a $50,000 bracket contest coming up. Got all sorts of cool referral bonuses. You can bet basketball, soccer. You want to bet entertainment, they got it. Everything you want. Conference tournaments, they have it. Make sure you're checking out MyBookie. Use promo code BMOC when you open your account. Get yourself a 50% deposit bonus. So if you throw $300 on there, they're going to give you a free $150 to bet with what you want. A nice little way to pad your bankroll to get started and get you prepared for March. Make sure you're checking out MyBookie today. Use promo code BMOC in the promo code box and get yourself a deposit bonus and support the show. Make sure you're doing all that today. Get yourself in the game with MyBookie. Let's keep it going and let's get into the show. Thank you, Matt. He says MyBookie's the greatest. Thank you. I know he uses MyBookie. Did I do sports trades last night? No, I did the show on fantasy sports. MyBookie charges to withdraw. I didn't see anything like that. Listen, I don't work for my bookie. I'm a promoter of my bookie. But Corey, that must be something that you did. But everyone else seems to like my bookie, so you seem to be the odd man out. What else do we have here? All right, let's get into the show. Plenty of games to talk about. We'll start out up at the top with the Marquette Golden Eagles and the Seton Hall Pirates. Let's take a look at that game here. Marquette laying 3, total 145.5. Listen, I'm worried about Marquette right now. They are struggling a little bit. They've lost 2 in a row. And I've started to figure out really how you beat Marquette. And it's kind of crazy, but I think you really just let, Howard do what he can do. You let him beat you and you don't let anyone else. You look at the last 2 games. This team scored 61 and 60 points. And you look at the big thing. You look at the box score for Marquette at home on Sunday against Creighton. They had 60 points. 33 of those points were Marcus Howard. No one else scored above 7 points. You look at against Villanova. They scored 61 points. Marcus Howard had 25 of those 61 points. You just don't let anyone else beat you, and no one else has stepped up and said, I'm going to play with this guy and give him some help. Occasionally, Sam Hauser will give it to you. Occasionally, Sakar Amin will give it to you. But they don't have a consistent second or third guy. We could even say, let's say Hauser's their second scorer, Sam Hauser. They don't have a third or fourth scorer. And that's been Marquette's major problem lately. And that's how they're going to be figured out in the tournament, I hate to say it. They just don't have enough right now that's playing at a high level. Marcus Howard's fantastic, but if Marcus Howard goes off for 40 and they only put up 68, you're going to win the game. It's that simple. You let Howard beat you and you make someone else beat you. No one's beating them. And that's one of the reasons right now they're struggling. Now you go on the road and you're taking on a Seton Hall team that is pretty desperate. It's that simple. I mean, Seton Hall is squarely on the bubble. They are one of the last teams in the dance right now. And you have teams right now that are jockeying for a position. You have a team like a Clemson. You have a team like a Temple. You have a team like an Alabama. You have a team like Furman, Murray State, all these teams jockeying to get in. TCU, Indiana, Georgetown. Seton Hall, this is a gigantic basketball game with a chance to punch their ticket tonight. And look, other than Marcus Howard, Miles Powell is the best player in the court. He's really good. And this is a really good defensive team in Seton Hall. Kevin Willard, not the best coach in the world, but he gets these kids to play. I mean, you look at this year defensively, Seton Hall, 53rd in the country in defensive efficiency. They're very good at both 2- and 3-point defense. They turn you over. They're a solid defensive crew, really are. If I had to play this game, I would take Seton Hall grabbing 3 here. I just would. I think people have figured out Marquette. Jalen Murray, he has my bookie. Very good. Bitcoin is a free withdrawal. There you go. Very simple. So it looks like you're not telling the truth there, Corey. I'm trying to subscribe to premium plays. It's been 3 days. No, you emailed me last night and said you would contact me at 9:30 and you didn't do it. Let's stop with the stories, Brian. Come on. Let's be honest here. I'm very accessible. It's not difficult. Listen, it's your balls in your court, brother. Happy Lent. Let's give up losing and go on a hot streak. That's a good one, Taylor. Let's give up losing. That's a great one. I could use it right now. I'm on a little bit of a bad run right now. Vol's easy work last night. Yes, I mentioned I liked them last night. Seton Hall is Miles Powell only. I would disagree with that, but okay. Let's not. Is today the day where we're just saying random stuff? Is that what we're doing here? Better than Marcus Howard. No, that's what I just said. I said other than Marcus Howard, Miles Powell's the best player on the court. You should be a coach. Thank you. That would be my dream job. No cash withdrawals. Okay, then don't do cash withdrawals. I mean, sorry. I mean, not every book can be perfect. Listen, Corey, it's clear you don't like my bookie. Then don't use them. You're not going to slam the promotion because you had an issue with them. Don't use them then. What do I look for when scanning the card and spotting good plays? Well, I mean, all sorts of stuff. That razor blade soccer guy was crazy. Yeah, it was unbelievable, wasn't it? Really, really morbid. Can I find a local high school, middle school team to start up coaching? I could, maybe someday. Right now, that's not what I'm looking to do. Maybe when I get later in life, in my 40s, maybe. That's definitely something I'm going to look to do. My goal in life is actually to get involved with some kind of youth center. I want to create a youth center for kids, and maybe at that point get into the high school coaching. That's always kind of something I'm looking to do. So it may be sometime down the road. Let's keep it moving. Let's go to what do we got next? Quickly, LaSalle, Dayton. Pookie Powell out for LaSalle tonight. That could be a tough game down at Dayton. Dayton very good at home. We all know Dayton, very good scoring team. Just kind of wanted to make that issue aware that Mr. Powell was out tonight. St. Bonaventure heading on the road to take on Davidson. I like St. Bonnie here. This is a good spot for the Bonnies. You talk about a team playing some great basketball right now, and it's the St. Bonaventure and this St. Bonaventure team. They're playing really well, the Bonnies are, and they're down on the road at Davidson. We've talked about senior night and it sometimes being a complete waste of time to talk about, and sometimes it's a very good thing to talk about. But I'll be interested to hear how many people mention tonight that it's senior night down at Davidson, just because it's their last home game. But when doing if you actually knew anything, you would know that Davidson doesn't have any seniors that play more than like 3 minutes a game. So it'll be interesting to see how many people use senior night as a viable way to handicap this game. But truth of the matter is it's not senior night. And I've found some pretty good info lately on this Bonaventure team. Early in the season, Mark Schmidt's team had some real trouble. They were having issues. I think they had lost their first 2 or 3 games in conference play. They were struggling. I think they were 6-12 overall. But you look at since then, they've gone 9-2 against A10 opponents. They're up to 11-5 in conference, and now all of a sudden, people are starting to talk about this team with a chance to go to the tournament. They're playing some hellishly good basketball right now, and you really look at what they've done to improve that. You look at since the middle of January, this Bonaventure team is holding opponents to 58.5 points a game defensively. Big change on defense. A lot of it's had to do with they just weren't fully equipped to handle a lot of these teams early in the season without guys like Darian Griffin. Darian Griffin is 6'6", 215. He's a stretch 4. You need him to defend, whether it's a big or a guard. He can do both. He's their best defender. You lose guys like this, your defensive numbers were going to struggle. You look at a guy like Dominic Welsh, a freshman for this group. He's come in and played some really good minutes for them. He started to get, more minutes too. Stockard's playing well. Jalen Poser's played well. And the first time these two teams played against Davidson, Jalen Poser didn't play. And he's one of the reasons in the difference in the game to me. You also look at the fact that they've had some freshmen that have stepped up. Kyle Lofton, Osun Unsuni, he's stepped up. All these guys have stepped up for this group. And that's one of the reasons this team's playing really good basketball right now. You're going to give me 4.5, 5 points. I like the Bonnies tonight in this one. I think this team's playing some good basketball. I like where they're going, and I think they're starting to get some real confidence here as we head forward. Do I think there's any value in the Bonnies money line? Yeah, I think there is. I definitely think there is. You look at Davidson, very three-point reliant. They're a team that generally plays real close, low-scoring games at home. Playing good basketball right now. Really like what I'm seeing from this group. Gab betted a haircut is needed. Thanks, Gab betted. I'll make sure to do that tonight because you told me to. I go on Fridays. Don't worry about what my hair looks like. More hair people in here. Everyone's a fucking hairstylist all of a sudden. Do you think you can ever do a live show at Oceans? We'll see. Maybe. I doubt it. I don't believe you're allowed to have computers in the sports books, but we'll see what we can do. Maybe off the beaten path, maybe somewhere we can find a spot. But yeah, I'll probably do most of them up in my suite. Yes, we'll take care of that. Kind of like Bonaventure here tonight. Any great? Someone's asking about teasers. I don't play teasers. Shouldn't be playing teasers in basketball. Best Street plays the parlay. I'll give you a couple games. Just listen in here. Let's keep it moving. We'll go to LSU, heading on the road to take on the Florida Gators. This game is a pick'em. This game's a pick'em. Let me say that again. This game is a pick'em. You talk about another team that is pretty desperate to win a game. That's Florida. To me, Florida needs I think they need another signature win. And you look at this team, I mean, look, while maybe we think Florida is a good basketball team, I mean, that's up for debate. I believe they are. I think Mike White's a good coach, and I think this is a really good home atmosphere. The truth of the matter is Florida's playing pretty good basketball. They've won 5 of 6. You look at the fact that it's unlikely they go on the road on Saturday and beat Kentucky. After losing to Georgia, they really need a win tonight. They took care of LSU a couple weeks ago. An abnormally high-scoring game. Kind of played LSU's game and were able to find the way. But I think this game's going to be another story. You look at, first of all, the desperation, I think, right now with Florida. I think they need to have this game. You look at, is this game a senior night opportunity? And it is. You look at some of the really good players on this basketball team. Kayvon Allen, Jalen Hudson, Kavarius Hayes. All these guys are big performers on this basketball team, and you got senior night tonight. Big spot, big crowd, big game. You also look at the fact of the matchup here. And when you're looking at LSU, when you first think of LSU basketball, your first thought is guard play, right? Their goal is we want to get into the lane. We want to create. We want to get to the 10. We want to get to the line. And you look at their numbers. That's backed it up. They're 33rd in the country at getting to the line. They're 76% from the line, and they're almost exclusively, as far as point distribution, a 2-point basketball team. You look at 52.8% of their points come from inside the 3-point line, and 23% of their other points come from the free throw line. So basically, you look at 53 and 23. That's 76% of their points come within the 2-point line. They don't shoot the 3 well. In fact, virtually none of their points come from the 3-point line. So you ask yourself, okay, so we know that. So let's look at Florida and let's look at how they defend. They almost exclusively play the in and out game. They don't allow you to get to the 10. This team is 16th in the country in points given up per game. They're all about turning you over. They're a really good turnover team. They're forcing a turnover in conference on 22.7% of their defensive possessions. And you look at efficiency, 12th in the country overall. This is a really good defensive team. If it's me, I basically wall the paint off and say, okay, LSU, shoot the ball. I'm not sure that they can do that. I just don't. And you look at on the other end, let's just be honest, people. I mean, LSU is not a very good defensive team. I mean, I'm not going to downplay what LSU's done. They're really good. Naz Reid's great. Waters is fantastic. Skylar Mays, Javonte Smart, Big B. Williams. They're really good. I'm not going to dispel that. But you look at the last game they played, they shot 7 for 22 from three. They only made 48% of their 2-point shots. That's not good. And other than getting to the free throw line 25 times, that game probably wouldn't have been as close as it was. I mean, you look at the free throw disparity. LSU shot 25 free throws. Florida shot 13. I mean, that's the only reason they were even that close. This game was not close from a matchup perspective. But they got home cooking and they got a lot of foul shots. They got not nine. They got 12 more foul shots than Florida did. You look at this game. I mean, 70% of the tickets and 60% of the money is on LSU, yet the line's a pick 'em. I mean, listen, if that doesn't speak to you, then I don't know what to tell you. So, bet LSU, but I'm telling you right now, if you're betting LSU and you win, I would just chalk it up and say, congrats. Do what you want to do, but I can't. This spot is just screaming. Do you think you'll be on an IFBC panel? No. No, I will not be on IFBC. In fact, I don't know if you'll ever have IFBC again. I don't know how that can be. With the people they currently have, I don't know how that would ever work. But I guess we'll see, right? But no, I wouldn't be there. Vegas is begging you to take LSU. I agreed. No, they again, Anu, you're obviously not listening, clearly, which that's not some surprise from you because it doesn't seem like you ever listen. Florida is desperate for win. Yes, they're desperate for a major win. They need a big time win. They need a signature win. So maybe you should listen a little bit better. Florida can score. Okay, well, then don't bet them. All I can do, guys, is give my opinion. I really like ODU tonight as well. Well, we'll get to that game in just a second, actually. Let's go to our next game here. Iowa State. I just wanted to mention this game quickly. A lot of injuries in this game. We all know the big time injuries for West Virginia, but they seem more equipped right now to deal with those injuries. They've had injuries for a while, and they're almost starting to play better now. Iowa State's not going to have Weiler Babb tonight or Mariel Shayok. This is a tough game tonight for Iowa State. Plus, it's in a pretty tough atmosphere, as we know, against the team that finds ways to stay in games because they can offensive rebound. West Virginia is starting to play at a high level. Just because they don't have their big players. Again, they're not a good team, but they're playing better than we thought they would. Derek Culver, Jermaine Haley, Jordan McCabe, all are starting to play and get equipped to handle the rigors of this schedule. They're a tough team. They're not a good team, but they're a team that fights. I don't know that Iowa State's equipped enough to be prepared for this game, and I'm not running to lay this kind of number in this game. I would take West Virginia if I had to. 5 seems like too many. Arkansas, Candy. You mean Arkansas, Vandy. Yeah, I'd lean Vandy. The underdog in that game has been very good over the last couple seasons. What is the big announcement? You'll hear about that soon. Is Nevada just mailing in the regular season? I don't think they're mailing in. I mean, they just didn't defend very well. I mean, that's about how it goes. That was the game I had last night. It was 8.5, and it's now 5 because the best player is out for Iowa State. In fact, their best player also, from a guard perspective, is out too. Nick Weiler-Babb is terrific as far as assist to turnover ratio, and Schalke is probably the best player in the conference. So. And this is Vandy's last chance for a big win, by the way. Good call. I always think of Jeff Denver when West Virginia comes up. Oh, yeah. Well, maybe we'll be singing that after the game tonight. Old Dominion, nice spot for that group tonight in that stadium. That's a senior night there as well. This is a senior night that will matter as well. You look at Stith, Caver, Eldrick Robinson, all seniors. Stith and Caver are signature players at that university. This will be a big-time game, very emotional. You look at Old Dominion this year, 14-1 straight up at home, 10-5 against the spread. They're winning their games at home by an average of 11.1 points a game. They have been fantastic in that stadium down at the Convocation Center. Very good atmosphere. This is a good basketball team and a team that is the favorite right now to win Conference USA. I think they're going to try to have to hold off Western Kentucky, but they're playing some good basketball, Dominion. Look out for Jeff Jones's crew. And shout out to Old Dominion. You lose your best player, Trey Porter, who transferred to Nevada, and you're still doing some really good things there. Impressive season for the Monarchs. Playing good basketball. I'd lay it tonight against a Southern Mississippi team that really just, to be honest, doesn't defend very well. This is a pretty good Old Dominion defense. I think on senior night they will take advantage. What else do we have here? I need Northern Kentucky. Any opinions? Yeah, I'm actually going to get to that Northern Kentucky-Detroit game. Just bear with me here. Does Clemson have any chance to make the tournament? Yes, they have a chance to make the tournament. They, as usual, are on the bubble, which is a place they're constantly at because they have an inept coach that's not very good. To me, I think to get in the tournament, they're going to have to make a run in the ACC tournament. I mean, you're not going to get much out of Notre Dame and Syracuse. I guess if you beat Syracuse, maybe that puts you in. And like Temple loses and other teams lose. But to me, I think they're going to have to make a run in the tournament to get in. I don't see it. You look at their out of conference, really nothing overly great. I mean, I guess, you beat an SEC team, is Georgia. You beat Radford. I guess that's a decent win. South Carolina, that's a quad one win. Lipscomb, that's a nice win. But, I mean, you didn't really beat anyone in conference outside of Louisville. And I'm sorry you didn't even beat Louisville. I'm looking at the wrong thing. So there's really no good resume here. If they could have beat North Carolina, I think they'd be in, but they just don't have much in the way of big-time wins. You're out of conference schedule, like I said, it's pretty bad. So I think they're going to have to make a run in the conference tournament to get in. You keep talking about these senior games where teams don't have seniors that play regular minutes. Does this create added pressure on a coach to play these guys? Advantage road team. Again, I think it's also obviously a very it's a very game-to-game kind of thing. I think when you're talking about senior night, as I said, you really have to look game to game because there are games where the senior night is important because the players that are seniors are big-time players, like Florida or like Tennessee last night or Texas Tech the other night or even Old Dominion tonight. But then you look at games like Davidson, where there are very few seniors and it's really not a spot that matters. As far as you want to avoid spots where you have a team that has like 3 or 4 guys that are like walk-ons and stuff, early on they're going to play for the first 4 or 5 minutes. It's not really big enough to create added pressure. And the only way they play late is if the game's out of hand anyway. So, no, I don't think that's a big issue. I really try to focus on senior night only mattering when you have a big-time player or big-time group of players playing in a stadium that would warrant a good atmosphere. So, like Old Dominion, that's a good atmosphere. Florida, good atmosphere. Tennessee, good atmosphere. There's so many just making sure you're looking at every game. It's really, and that's where handicapping comes in, spending the time looking that stuff up. Yeah, situational, exactly. How do I feel about Texas Tech at 46-1 to win the tournament? If you're getting 46-1, that's a terrific price. I didn't even get that good a number. Rhode Island got their breaks beat off on senior night by Duquesne last season. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to hit every time, but generally it's a pretty good way of handicapping. But by the way, speaking of Rhode Island, shout out last night to Fats Russell. What a performance against St. Joe's. The kid from Southwest Philadelphia, Fats Russell, Imhotep Charter School, one of the best basketball programs in Philadelphia, comes back to St. Joe's and drops 41, scored the final 19 points for St. Joe's. Shout out my man Fats Russell, showing out for his old city against St. Joe's. They get the win 86-82, a game in which I told you would go over the number. Alan Caillou, welcome in. Thanks for watching. Defense travels. Yes, definitely does. Let's keep it moving. Has Big Man already talked about Arkansas? Briefly, I kind of like Vandy there. I think Vandy's kind of desperate. I don't think a team's ever went that's had no – I don't think this team's ever had any losses or any wins in the conference. I don't think any teams went winless. I think Vandy will get a win tonight. I mean that. I think Seton will do a nice job on Daniel Gafford, and I'd lean with the Commodores. How good is VCU? I think they're really good. I think they're playing a really good level right now. Problem is they don't get any tournament at home, so that's going to be interesting. But they're a pretty good road team. FIU, I don't have much on that game. Let's keep it going here. A couple more games, a couple of smaller games. Let's get to Northern Kentucky and Detroit. This is the first game in the Horizon League tournament, and if you're interested in finding out who I have to win this tournament, make sure you're checking out all my conference previews. That's one thing I want to let everyone know about. All of you in here, we got about 420 people in here. I want to let all of you know I do a preview on every conference. Show me some support. I do one for every single conference, and there's some really good info there. Making sure you're checking those out. I just put up some previews on the MAAC, the West Coast Conference. I also did the Ohio Valley recently. I did the Missouri Valley. All sorts of really good conferences. So make sure you're checking all those out on the channel. Northern Kentucky, big game tonight against Detroit. And I saw someone mention they liked Detroit. I think that's a big no-no tonight. In fact, if I had to play a game outside of my premium play, Northern Kentucky be a game I'd definitely have something on tonight if I were you guys. I think they beat up Detroit here. You look at the first two games, Northern Kentucky won both going away. They won both by heavy margins, and they scored 95 and 97 points in those games. And they have a similar situation to Marquette does Detroit. Detroit Mercy is basically a one-man show. Antoine Davis, a kid that has been absolutely magnificent. The problem is they don't have much else there. Basically, Northern Kentucky's just said in both games, we'll let you go off. We don't want anyone else to go off. And they haven't. Outside of Davis, no one else has done much of anything against Northern Kentucky for Detroit. You have to lay, I think, what's the number here? I want to say it's 13. 13. I think it's safe. Northern Kentucky's been a good home team. They're playing at a really high level right now. Jalen Tate's been real good. Drew McDonald has eaten against Detroit all season. Detroit Mercy, always a team that struggles to defend, whether it was when Bakari Alexander was there or now that Mike Davis is there. It doesn't matter. They've struggled every way and any way on defense. I don't really see the reason to back Detroit here. How do you get premium plays? You would email me at bmocsports@gmail.com. It's a great way. Many of you have reached out and gotten on board. I know a couple but last week or so, it's not been great, but we'll get back at it. We got to go through peaks and valleys, guys. It's like a roller coaster, this business sometimes. Sometimes you're euphoric for months, and then sometimes you have some tough goes of it. But everything evens out over the long run. Detroit's gym is smaller than a high school gym. Yeah, and they're not playing there tonight, so that's, I guess, good, right? Fairleigh Dickinson laying 6 against Wagner. Fairleigh Dickinson in Teaneck, New Jersey, up in North Jersey. Wagner is on Staten Island, so not a particularly long trip for the Seahawks here. But FDU playing good basketball. They're a great three-point shooting team, and they're playing at a pretty high level right now, winning 5 in a row coming into the tournament. I think they're the team that will win this conference. I just don't like St. Francis of PA as much as I think other people do. I really like FDU. They're pretty balanced from a scoring perspective. Wagner seemed like a team that will just go away here. FDU beat them by, I think, 8 or 9 at home earlier this season. I would grab FDU if I had to. In fact, I've actually bet FDU last couple games, kind of as free plays. Couple other games, LAU Brooklyn and Sacred Heart. Sacred Heart's a great ATS team. Sacred Heart 9-2 this year against the spread at home. This team's been real good, but I talked about it. I'm a big LAU Brooklyn fan when it comes to these tournaments. I bet them last year, and I like them again this year. You can get 18-1 right now on LAU Brooklyn. I think they're worth a look. They have a really nice piece in Raekwon Clark. They have great guard play from Jay Sean Augusto and Julian Batts. They're very good on both sides of the court, defensively and offensively. Do a nice job at guarding in the half court. They're a team that went on the road last year and won. I don't see any reason they can't go on the road this year and win a couple games. If you know anything about Sacred Heart, not an incredibly far trip for LAU Brooklyn. It's only up in Connecticut. Anthony Latina's team's been good, though, like I said. I mean, they've been real good at home. This is a game where if you like high-paced, good possession basketball, this is a good conference for you. Both these teams go real fast. Should be a good, hearty basketball game here. Should probably be pretty high scoring as well. You look at the last time these two teams played, 92 to 84, and then 79-75. So, LAU Brooklyn won a game, 92-84, and then they covered back against Sacred Heart on January 3rd. So both pretty high-scoring games. If I'm looking to get points here, I'd grab them with Sacred Heart. I think, or with LAU Brooklyn. I think this is a team where LAU Brooklyn can make a run. If I had to play a game on the money line tonight, this would probably be the one I'd look at. I think LAU Brooklyn just seems to turn a switch on when they get into the playoffs and stuff. Michael Polway is checking in. Want to thank him for the like and thank him for watching the show. His addition to the content tonight is, this is horrible content. Okay, well, thanks. I mean, appreciate you watching, though, and we'll take that in consideration. We'll do anything we can to fix it and make it better for you, even though you're here listening with all of us, and you felt the need to create an account and say that to us. Either way, though, we thank you for your addition, and we hope to see you real soon. Let's move on. We got one or two more, and then we'll wrap the show up. I'll take a question or two, and then we'll get up out of here. One other one, guys. Incarnate Word tonight. I think this is a pretty decent spot for the Cardinals here on the road down at Houston Baptist. This is not a tournament game. We're still in the regular Southland season. We get 2 more games, I believe, in this conference. Incarnate Word, for anyone that's not aware, this is a team out of San Antonio, Texas. I actually have seen this school. It's basically right on the highway in San Antonio. When I was down there for the Final Four, I actually saw Incarnate Word. First time these two teams played, pretty good game, 96-92. It was a great game, back and forth. Houston Baptist is a team that under their coach, Ron Cottrell, they're a really quick basketball team, play with a lot of pace. go really quick. And Incarnate Word, their claim to fame has been the fact that they are the number one free throw shooting team in the country. And basically what they do is they go real slow. They sit in the half court, try to create, and get to the line. That's literally how they score. 22% of their points come from the foul line. That's 33rd in the country. You also look at 51% of their points come from the two-point line. They're basically a mini version of LSU. If you're giving me 13.5 tonight, how teams stay in games is a multitude of different things. I've talked about it before. Sometimes it's 3-point percentage, but a lot of it is getting to the line, slowing a team down that goes fast, and turning the ball over. All three things Incarnate Word do pretty well. This is a team, they're young. They don't have a ton of experience. You look at their experience, it's 343rd in the country. They literally don't have – they have one senior that plays on a regular basis. His name's Charles Brown. He plays on a regular basis. They're a young team. But look, if you're giving me 13.5, I think they have some keys that can keep them in a game here. You look at Incarnate Word this year, 6 wins on the season, right? 4 of them came against non-Division I opponents. They have 2 wins on the season against Division I teams. One was against North Dakota State. The other was against Nichols State. That is their only win in the Southland. But I just don't think Houston Baptist is worthy to lay this kind of number. Yeah, I'm gonna rock with that one here. It's a decent side. What else do we have here? Alex Wander. I'm off Detroit. Yeah, again, I think it's a tough spot for them tonight. Thank you, Kazor. Thanks for watching. James Wolf. Thanks for watching. Robert Morris. Yeah, I don't understand the love for Robert Morris. I wouldn't be much interested in them. One of my top 2 free picks. I would say my top 2 free picks are I don't know. I mean, I like a couple tonight. I like St. Bonaventure. I like LAU Brooklyn. I like Old Dominion. I like Northern Kentucky. I like a couple games. Vandy, that was really just a game I went over because people asked. That's not really a game I'm going to be wagering on tonight. Did I see the R. Kelly interview? Yes. It was very odd. Very odd behavior. What was my take on Duke? I think they look really bad without Zion Williamson. Any thoughts on Ohio State Northwestern? I lean Northwestern. They've been a good sharp play, but they're not getting the job done. Why is USF only laying 8 against Tulane? Because USF's not that good. They're overrated. They're very dependent on getting to the line. Our premium package is weekly, monthly, or yearly? Monthly. Fairleigh Dickinson ? We talked about that one. I like FDU. Any thoughts on St. Louis? No, I'm not. I have no interest in them as a favorite. I want to bet Incarnate Word. Yeah, I would bet them. Any thoughts on Vinny Paz from Jedi Mind Tricks? That's not really my type of music. I know I'm a rap guy, but that's not really my type of rap. I respect Vinny Paz. He's a South Philly guy. I know he's Italian, and I think he's kind of from the neighborhood, but not really my thing. I'm not really into that kind of stuff. I'm more of a different kind of rap fan. I'm more into like I guess you could call it gutter, like drug rap, that kind of stuff. No offense, but that's the shit I like. I like Pook Papers, like a lot of the battle rap kind of stuff. I'm not really into that kind of stuff. But no, Vinny Paz is a cool guy. I mean, it's just not really my type of rap. People ask me that all the time. It's not really my thing. I don't know what you would call this kind of rap. I guess it's more like political hip hop. that hardcore underground stuff. I have nothing against these guys. It's just not really my thing. If the tourney started today, what's a 10 seed or higher that could reach the Sweet 16 or Elite 8? UCF. If I had to take a long shot future in the tournament, who would I take? I would have to look. I'll probably do a Periscope tonight, and I'll talk about some of that stuff. Sean Crichton. I'm out of Binghamton. I love your shows and don't even cap JLE. Just love sports. Thank you, man. That's so kind of you, and I thank you for watching. Shout out to Binghamton. Yeah, Incarnate Word. Yeah, they beat Nebraska a few years ago. I remember that. That was one of the many bad spots that Tim Miles has had in his career. Does Notre Dame have a senior night advantage? That's a good question. If anyone has senior night advantage questions, send them in now. I can give you one. Is this a good senior night spot or not? Notre Dame is at the stadium that Bray built tonight. And to me, would I consider this a good senior night spot? No, because the only seater they have is Rex Pfluger, and Rex Pfluger's injured. So no, no, I would not. They're actually pretty young this year, frankly. Notre Dame is 315 in experience, and this is why Notre Dame's struggling. It's a down year. They've lost some really good players over the years. Bonzi Colson, Matt Farrell, Steve Asturia, DJ August, Demetrius Jackson. These are guys that are in the league now. So Pat Connaughton. They've had some great teams over the years. I'm a big Mike Bray fan. Mike Bray is a guy that I don't think gets near enough respect for his ability to create offensive mismatches. He just has a young team this year. That's really all it is. No, this would not be a senior night that means anything. What else do we have here? Going to do some shout outs. What's up, James? Thanks for watching. Is UCF a legitimate threat to make the Sweet 16? I think they are. Jimmy Ganella, what's happening? Shout out to you. Appreciate it. Live from Cali. I like that. He legally changed his name from Pazienza to Paz. Yeah, that's a violation to me. How are you going to change your Paisan last name? Come on, man. I got LAU Brooklyn based on your tournament preview. Let's get it, Scott. Let's do it. Thank you, Russ B. Appreciate that. Thank you, Hal. See you later, D. A game tonight that I would keep my eye on as well. It's one of the last games I'll talk about, and someone's actually mentioning it. I saw there. It's Washington. This is a senior night Saturday. This is not senior night tonight. Make sure you understand that. They have a game on Saturday against Oregon, which would be a great spot for Washington. Oregon State's a tough team. It's a tough team. They really are. This could be a real good game tonight. Allison, they do not play in senior night tonight. I should do a play-by-play for a tournament game. Maybe. Any opinion on Penn State? No, I wouldn't be betting on them. Thanks, Dayton. Appreciate it, man. How do you retweet the show? You just go on Twitter. What site can I go to see injury reports? I use a site called Sports Insights, but I pay for it. That's pretty good, but I'm not really familiar with a good free site. Maybe just search them on Twitter. That's usually a good way to find out stuff. All right, guys, that's going to be it for tonight. You all have a really nice night. Thanks for watching. I will probably be on Periscope a little bit later. And we will chop it up over there. How do I feel about Action Network? I think it's a great concept. I don't really understand what they're getting at with the people that they hire. There are a few people there that I respect: Eli Hershevich, Mike Randall, Blackjack Fletcher. But outside of those three, I don't really understand what they're looking to do there. Their goal is to make bettors better, but no one they hire makes bettors better outside of the people that I mentioned. So I don't understand what their game plan is there. In these tournaments, does it make more sense to take first half unders instead of full games due to extremely desperate fouling at the end, or am I overlooking it? I think you're overlooking it. It really depends. We'll get into conference stuff you look for in the tournament. Closer to the tournament, we'll do a show on that. My man Shadow's in here. Had a great conversation with him earlier. Check it out. Good stuff, Shadow. Thanks for watching, man. Get healthy. Thanks, Bernie. Take it easy, Michael. Thank you, William. Is Ohio State this bad without Wesson? Yes. Any thoughts on FAU? All right, we'll do one more. Is FAU a senior night that matters? I don't believe so. Their best player last year is Ronald Delph. He was a senior. As far as does it matter, I have to see. I want to say it does. I think Anthony Adger and Xavier Stapleton are both seniors. So, yeah, I mean, La Tech, though, is a tough team. That should be a low-scoring game. All right, guys, I'm out of here. How do you find me on Periscope? You follow me on Twitter. It pops right up. So that would be my best way of recommending that. Everyone have a great day. Thanks for watching. See you next time.